Next, next, next.
Oh my goodness. Can't even get started good. Today, we're going to be looking at running a computer for another presenter or person using PowerPoint.
Next, next.
Here we go. The objective is to make the presenter look good. That's the real crux of this particular video. Because when the presenter looks good, not only does he feel good, but the crowd or the audience should feel good about the presentation also. So we'll have two participants or players in this video. We'll have the operator, the one pushing the buttons, and then we'll have the presenter. Now, this list of suggestions I'll give you will work whether you're local or if you're remote. And what I mean by remote is if you're in another room or if you're in another city or state or country or even continent, these techniques will still work. You please refer to my previous video on slide advancing options. We'll go over some of them quickly to refresh you. There's the page up key, page down key, in, act like in Nancy for next, the right arrow key, the space bar, and of course, the wired or wireless mouse. Also, the remote presenter shown here in the screen. And be cognizant that the two mice, wired or wireless, tends to make a lot of noise when you're clicking in a quiet environment. So a touchpad would work better, or the keyboard keys. They don't make as much noise. Now, if you want to get a external device, a presenter or an extra mouse, it all depends on your budget and how often do you do presentations in a year? Is it once per year or is it 15 times per year? It's up to you. It depends. And why does this occur that we need a remote operator? You can see the items listed in the slide here. There are some others. You know, life happens. You get there late. You get there and your first flash drive doesn't work and you don't have a second one. There's just various things that can happen, planned or unplanned, that can cause for the need of a remote operator for your presentation. Now, a few suggestions.
Next, next, next.
I really do not like this one because it tends to be rather annoying, not only to the presenter, but also to the operator and to the audience. So let's look at some others. Just wave a hand. Yep. Next. That's not nearly as obtrusive. Sometimes silence will work. Just stop talking. They'll know that it's time to advance the next slide. Sometimes stare at the operator. Oh, you looking at me. Sometimes you can point. And for the operator, what really helps if you can focus on the presentation is just listen. Read along, listen to the words that they're using, and you'll just about know when it's time to advance to the next slide. So whichever technique you use, establish your communication, whether it's a nod, silence, staring at you, a finger wave, a finger pointing, a wave, or something else. Just establish whatever technique you're going to use. And it's clearly evident when you're together, and sometimes even evident when you're not together, when you really need this. In church, if you've ever presented words to a song on a screen, you know what I'm talking about. I typically have found out over the past few years that the second word from the end is a good point to switch to the next line or the next slide. The same thing happens when you're presenting scripture in church. The reader or the one leading the scripture can follow along. In the beginning, God created the heaven and on the word the, switch to the next scripture or the next verse, depending on how the verses are laid in your presentation software. But you really have to get into the flow because people do not really want to wait. In the beginning, God created the heaven and the earth. Then you switch the screen. Then it's got to go from the computer to the projector, then to the projector, onto the screen. Then the people got to see it. So that's 2 or 3 seconds that does not really add to the flow of the service. So quicker and shorter is better. Thanks for watching this video on handling or running a PC for another person or presenter. Hopefully these techniques will help you and make you a better presenter and a better operator, a better lyrics operator. Thank you very much.